on your hook.
Interpersonal experience without losing control. My final big tip for getting back in touch with your emotions is to voice memo or film yourself when you are having a particularly intense emotional experience, but keep it just for you. I'm going to explain why that's important and why I love doing it. When I went through my first major breakup when I was in my early 20s, late teens maybe even, I can't even remember at this stage. Obviously, I was devastated. I was so sad and just torn apart, and I couldn't sleep and I couldn't eat and everything was a mess. And I started filming myself in those moments. I started filming myself, walking around my campus, going on a hike, crying and talking about where I was at in this journey to get over this person. It was so raw and it was so real, and it was just for me. That's the important part. It was just for me, that it really just allowed me to be this is kind of beautiful. This is kind of beautiful, and I'm really just giving myself permission to feel this with no shame and no blame. And I'm watching it back and I'm seeing exactly where this is touching me and exactly where this is impacting me. I actually still have those videos, and I know it sounds really, really bizarre, but I think the beginning stages of feeling the feelings is grabbing onto any glimmer or shimmer or instance of the possibility of an emotion, and just grabbing it and letting it take you wherever it needs to take you. I think about Tinkerbell in a weird sense, and I know that's a weird thing to bring in here, but this flash of light and this flutteriness of this fairy thing. Flutteriness of this fairy thing and this small thing, and that's your emotions. And in the early stages, if it's sitting with you, if it's passing through, grab it. Even if it's not an emotion you particularly want to feel, grab it, document it, make it known, let yourself sink deeply into the experience, because it is a human one. And remember, please, avoid distracting yourself when this comes up. Avoid distracting yourself through escapism, through alcohol, through work, through the need to rationalize your emotions, through, endlessly keeping yourself busy. It is the reason that we want to do it is because for a while it is such an effective strategy to do that. That's why you're doing it, because it does actually help. It helps you right now. It will not help you in the future. And I see a lot of people, the older they get, lose more and more of who they are, because for so long they've suppressed their emotions that as they get older, it never just feels as special anymore. And they just don't really know I just feel like they're just not really having the depth of experiences, and they're not really searching for emotions and sensations the way that people really should be in this life. So it's not so much a psychological perspective, it's more of a spiritual, value-based perspective or belief-based perspective that I have, that anytime you try and convince yourself and say, this feels terrible, this feels awful, I shouldn't be feeling this, ask yourself, well, if I shouldn't be feeling this, why is this emotion even around then? Why does this emotion even exist? Because if it wasn't useful or helpful, if there wasn't some specialness to it, it wouldn't be here. And yet it is, so I'm going to honor it, I'm going to feel it. That's all I have time for in this episode. I I really hope that it helped you. I hope that this like dissection of this experience of emotional blunting and emotional numbness, I don't hope that you can relate to it, but I hope that if you can relate to it, you got something out of it and you can implement these strategies and that you feel out of it and you can implement these strategies and that you and that, bringing it back to the very first thing I said at the start of this episode, I hope that you're leaving this feeling in touch with just one emotion that you're going to be having today. Make sure to send this episode to a friend, a family member, a colleague, a partner, whoever who may need to hear it. If you've made it this far, my loyal listeners, I know there's like a group of like 50 of you, 50 to 100 who always make it this far. I want you, what's the emoji for today? What's an emoji that represents feeling your feelings? Or, I think you should do a crazy dance emoji. Whatever you think like crazy dance looks like, drop it in the comments so I know you've made it this far. Leave your questions, your episode
from where this voice is coming.
As well. I love engaging with you in that
this
space.
Voice, I don't know from where this is coming. It's weird.
Anyone can jump on board. It's just the listeners of the show.
That's so confusing.
Yes, very nice. I don't know. I have a Apple Music, but I don't know why.
Pre-order my book.
Not sure.
It comes out in less than a month.
Not sure. See, the Apple Music is not playing.
But
and I don't have.
That is so confusing.
Yeah. It's a podcast, but and it's not a radio. It's connected to my mobile. Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah, bizarre. Hopefully you get to fix
it wasn't bad. It's good.
No.
Yeah. It's like a psychology something. Let's see what was that. It's weird. I don't have another running.
Leave it.
ABC Listen, podcasts, radio, news, music, and more.
I think it's from my mobile.
Just a warning before we start. This podcast has some strong language and covers some intense material.
Okay.
A while ago, someone handed me this recording. The conversation on this tape is so strange and disturbing that I've lost count of how many times I've listened to it. I've spent nearly 2 years now just trying to figure out what to make
from where it's coming.
You don't have Spotify, do you?
No, I don't. No.
You can hear the sound shuffling around in
I
a
think
quiet
it's
room.
this one, but it's not showing anything. It probably there is a radio here, but it's not.
Then someone else comes to the door.
I can close it,
It
but
opens.
it's okay. It's
Another
okay.
man enters
I like
the room.
it. It's okay.
Remember, we've got some work to do. Yes, thanks.
The two men start talking, and right away, it's clear they're involved in some
happened?
pretty dodgy stuff.
I've got a lot of things going on all over the place. Yeah. I understand, you've been involved in a few things, helping us out with, I think, the guns to the bikies, or the smokes, those sort of things,
Selling
those sort of things,
selling guns to bikies is pretty serious organised crime.
Selling gun.
It's pretty serious organised crime. For legal reasons, we've altered one of the voices to disguise the man's identity.
I like to get to know the people that we want to have on board the crew,
The guy leading the conversation sounds like a crime boss, like a gang leader or a kingpin, some sort of Mr. Big.
I'm really happy with what you've been doing, you're really showing you got some style about you. No fuss, you know. You're always reliable.
The younger guy sounds almost like the opposite of Mr. Big.
Okay.
He's eager to please.
I can assure you that I wouldn't let you down in any way.
Yeah.
I'm not that type of person.
It seems like Mr. Big wants this younger guy to know just how high stakes this game really is. And to prove his point, he lets him in on a secret. He says his power extends to some very high places.
I've got coppers in every state that I pay good money to. And I don't do it because I like the fucking police. Let me tell you that right now, alright? Because in this game, if we come unstuck, then we might end up in the bin, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The suggestion of having corrupt cops on the take is heavy enough, but the recording only gets more intense as it goes on. As they keep talking, Mr. Big gets to the real reason for this meeting. He says the younger guy's done something wrong, something that's attracting unwanted attention from the police. The kind of attention Mr. Big can't buy his way out of, and Mr. Big is pissed off about it.
So you got a bit of a problem with the coppers on your ass at the moment, alright? I can't have any police sniffing around any of the people that are working for me, right? Because if that's going to happen, they're going to end up sniffing around me at some stage, aren't they? So, I think we've got a bit of an issue there at the moment, okay?
Mr. Big says he doesn't care what the younger guy's done, but if it's left a trail of crumbs for the police, then it needs to be dealt with. It needs to go away.
I don't just need it under the carpet. I need it to be fixed so that it never comes back. Okay?
It seems for a second like they're talking about a bad business deal or a drug debt, but they're not. And this is where things take an extremely dark turn, because what they're really talking about is the murder of a woman. And the casual way that they talk about it, it's just brutal. I find it so confronting every time I hear it.
Yeah, okay, so what happened? What went wrong?
He says he cut her in the neck, like it's just this throwaway line.
When you say the neck, what, you stab her in the neck? Yeah. With a knife?
Yeah.
Then Mr. Big asks for more details. If he's going to make the murder weapon disappear, he needs to know exactly what he's looking for. He needs to know exactly what he's looking for.
Now, what sort of knife are we talking?
Steak knife, straight edge.
What gets me about this is just the bored and mechanical way that they describe all this. Violence. The younger guy tells Mr. Big he also used a screwdriver.
What sort of screwdriver? Just a normal screwdriver?
Yeah.
Just the screwdriver. That's funny.
Just a normal
Then on the
screw.
table, he on the side.
This is
And
my
say what by now is pretty obvious.
That's funny.
In case you didn't hear that, he says at the end of the day, I suppose I did kill her.
I suppose.
I suppose he doesn't know. Probably he's confused.
Mr. Big doesn't flinch when he's told about the details of this murder.
That's funny.
He's told about the details of this murder. He doesn't ask many questions about this woman or who she was. He seems more interested in what to do next.
Oh, it's very busy
How to
now.
cover it up so it doesn't affect his business.
Oh, nice. I drop you off there.
How to cover it up
No
so it
worries.
doesn't affect his business.
Take care. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you so
No worries. No
much.
worries. You take care. No worries. Thank you.
We need to get rid of that.
See you.
So we need to find that and then get rid of it properly, right? We need to come up with some sort of conclusive alibi about who you're with or where you were. Does anybody know about how she was stabbed, where she was stabbed, or nobody?
Ali through the police report.